Y'all remember the Addams Family? The creepy yet strangely wholesome family living in the castle with semi-dead or completely dead friends? The one where there's a lonesome with its own personality. Wednesday, a character from the show, has got her own gig in Netflix's adaptation of her life. You can expect the series to come chock full of comedy and horror. And we're here to talk all about its first on-screen week and other juicy details. Starting off, Wednesday's first week broke Stranger Things' record. Wednesday fans appear to be as unblinking as its main character, as the show has now surpassed Netflix's record for most hours seen in 1 week for an English-language program, a record previously held by Stranger Things Season 4. Wednesday has had 341.2 million hours seen in its first week, according to the streamer who announced the achievement on Twitter. Stranger Things Season 4 previously established a record of 335.01 million during the last week of May, first week of June. Tim Burton's Addams Family spin-off series starring Jenna Ortega, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Luis Guzman premiered on Netflix on November 21st and quickly became the streamer's most-watched series in 83 countries. The program has also garnered generally positive reviews from both critics and audiences, with a 70% reviewer score and an 88% audience rating at the time of writing. Wednesday is the best-reviewed Addams Family film since Barry Sonnenfeld's Addams Family Values, all the way back from 1993, which has a 74% critic rating and a 63% audience rating. Next, the series primarily revolves around Wednesday Addams. Wednesday, however unrelated to Sonnenfeld's films from the 1990s, sees the return of Christina Ricci, who portrayed Wednesday Addams in that series of films. Ricci's addition to the series was announced back in March. Many assumed at first that she would reprise her part as an adult Wednesday, and Ortega would portray a younger version of Ricci's character. However, after giving the pigtails to Ortega, it was announced that Ricci would portray a whole new character, Marilyn Thornhill, one of Wednesday Addams' professors at Nevermore Academy. Despite its success, Wednesday and its creator Tim Burton have recently come under fire for what some consider discriminatory portrayals of ethnic characters. The debate centers on the show's portrayal of its black characters, with several portraying villains and bullies to Ortega's serious protagonist. Burton and his art have previously been chastised for similar reasons. Moving on, Ortega is the first person of color in Burton's production crew. When recounting his boyhood watching of The Brady Bunch in 2016, the filmmaker sparked controversy by implying that the show's ultimate inclusion of black and Asian characters was a political correctness move. These remarks were made in reaction to Samuel Jackson's assertion that he is the only black person to feature in a Tim Burton film. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, if you're wondering. Jenna Ortega is the first person of color to direct a Tim Burton production. Wednesday follows the legendary Addams Family heroine as she tries to uncover a mystery concerning her parents while practicing her newly discovered psychic skills. Further, Wednesday pays tribute to pop culture. One aspect of Netflix Wednesday that jumps out is how it pays homage to other pop cultural phenomena. Jenna Ortega's titular heroine is a ripoff of Tim Burton's Catwoman from Batman Returns, which he directs in the first 4 episodes. During the Poe Cup, there are several references to William Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, and even Heath Ledger's Joker. It connects Wednesday's gothic adventure at Nevermore to many generations of fans in an updated, modern take on the legendary Addams Family figure. Of course, Wednesday is a supernatural mystery at heart, packed with terror as kids establish friendships, rivalries, and loves at the mysterious school while terrible murders run rampant. The story also crosses over into another iconic franchise in the form of Stephen King's Carrie. However, as the show's iconic gory prank unfolds, it backfires on the bullies in a humorous way. Up next, Carrie's pig blood sequence is immortal. In the Carrie novels and film adaptations, the titular heroine snapped at her school prom after being duped into being queen, a scene that was particularly immortalized in Sissy Spacek's portrayal of the character in 1976. As she approached the stage for her crown, the bullies drew her in and splashed pig's blood on her in a sick gesture to demonstrate that she would never be appreciated. They didn't count on Carrie going crazy and releasing her talents. Carrie began ripping the building apart with her mind, blowing up the lights, creating a fire, and trapping everyone inside. She didn't care who was nice or bad since everyone had to pay, instructors and pupils equally. After all, the folks who did little to aid her throughout her awful high school years were all involved in her misery, melancholy, and dangerous thoughts. Carrie returned home broken to finish the job on her mother Margaret, who had tormented her with religious zeal over the years. This was the final straw that turned her to become a sympathetic villain. Also, Wednesday's blood scene doesn't break her. In episode 4, Whoa, What a Nightmare, when Wednesday holds its own school dance, The Raven, she accompanies Tyler to the dance, which was all orchestrated by Thing since the hand wants her to have a happy teenage life. Enid's date Lucas has infiltrated and collaborated with other normies from Jericho to fill the sprinklers with blood, unbeknownst to her. They plan to retaliate against the supernatural freaks responsible for the fire on Outreach Day, particularly Wednesday, who beat them up in public a couple of times. They turn on the sprinklers just after a spectacular dance number with her and Tyler, sending everyone scrambling for shelter. However, rather than losing her mind as she is wet, Wednesday remains unfazed by the immature immature conduct. While the other students in white are scurrying around, sliding, panicking, and yelling, the rebel in her black gown seems unconcerned. It creates a tense, uncomfortable environment, leaving viewers wondering if she'll erupt in wrath, track out the criminals, and set them on fire. Wednesday, on the other hand, embraces the mayhem in the spoof episode. Now, Netflix's most watched shows in hourly count. After hearing suggestions that it should be more open, Netflix began sending out weekly data on top episodes and movies by the number of hours seen on the streaming service on Tuesday. The data, which was published on top10netflix.com, breaks down the streaming service's top 10 movies and series globally by English and non-English titles, as well as the number of hours seen. This represents a significant step forward for Netflix, the artists we work with, and our members, said Pablo Perez de Rosso, Netflix's Vice President of Content Strategy, Planning, and Analysis, in a blog post. Starting off with Squid Game. The Korean language thriller Squid Game was the most watched program on Netflix in its first 28 days, raking up 1.6 billion hours of viewing time and leading the non-English TV list. The Regency-era romance Bridgerton scored top in English language series with 625 million hours seen in its first 28 days. Squid Game continues to lead non-English TV viewing for the week of November 8th to the 14th, with 42.79 million hours seen, followed by Season 1 of the Korean language romantic series The King's Affection, according to Netflix. Season 3 of Narcos Mexico rated top in English language TV, with 50.29 million hours watched. Last week's top English language picture was Red Notice, starring Gal Gadot, with 148.7 million hours seen, with 58.56 million hours viewed. The romantic comedy Love Hard came in second. Coming in hot, Bird Box. On the cinematic front, Sandra Bullock's Bird Box took the top spot with 282 million hours seen in the first 28 days. Bird Box was seen by 89 million Netflix users in the first 4 weeks for a total of 3 hours and 10 minutes. That's substantially longer than the film's 2 hours and 4 minutes, implying repeat viewings. Extraction, Chris Hemsworth's most watched film, landed in second place with 231 million hours, despite having 99 million homes. That's an average of 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is slightly longer than the 1 hour and 57-minute runtime. Lastly, Money Heist and Stranger Things. This was also true for Money Heist Season 4, clocking it at 619 million hours, and Stranger Things Season 3 for 582 million hours. The blockbuster Spanish series, which was seen by 65 million Netflix subscribers in the first 28 days, lasts 9 hours and 31 minutes on average. Money Heist Season 4 was, however, just 6 hours and 38 minutes long. Stranger Things 3 lasted 8 hours and 41 minutes on average, whereas the third season lasted 7 hours and 29 minutes. The Witcher's average viewership was marginally lower than during its first season. Netflix has made steps to be more transparent about its audience statistics over time. It released country-specific top 10 rankings last year to assist consumers to understand what's popular on the streaming service. In addition, the corporation has adjusted its audience numbers. Netflix used to define a view as one individual seeing at least 70% of a show, but that was altered in January to at least 2 minutes. Netflix has recently dropped that number, claiming that hours viewed are a better sign of user involvement and are consistent with how third-party services assess TV viewing. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Wednesday in the show's first week? Let us know in the comments below. It'd be awesome if you gave this video a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe for more scrumptious videos like this. See you in the next one.